Okie dokie, you're live now.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to a wage subsidy information session. My name is Candace, and I'm the Service Delivery Specialist at WorkLink Employment Society, and I'm here with our lovely Susie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Susie, and I am the Employment Services Specialist at WorkLink Employment Society.
Yeah, so we hear some questions from employers quite regularly, just asking about the details of the wage subsidy program and what's really involved in that. So we just wanted to answer some of the most commonly asked questions today in hopes to clear up some of the policies surrounding the details and talk about the accessibility to the program and how easy it is for everybody to access.
So our first most commonly asked question is, what is the wage subsidy program?
Well, the wage subsidy program is designed to offset the cost of hiring and training new employees. It's really based for full-time employees if you're looking to hire job seekers that might not have all of the skills and tools necessary to be successful at the position that you have posted. It's really great if you need additional training and support for your clients. The financial support allows your company to take the time that you need to really work through all of the ins and outs of your company so that someone can learn the internal processes. It can also be used to hire somebody who has experience, but just really needs to learn the internal processes of your company in particular. So it is a wide variety of accessibility for job seekers, but mainly focused on full-time. We can hire clients not on full-time if the client has diverse abilities and they're unable to sustain full-time hours. So if you have any questions about that at all, reach out to us and we can really explain those differences to you in speaking about your individual job seekers.
Okay, our second most commonly asked question is, how much will an employer be reimbursed when they hire an employee with the wage subsidy, and how long does the wage subsidy last?
So our wage subsidy placements, they really differ depending on what type of client that we're working with. So we have a few different client types here. So we have what we call a general client. So this is anybody over the age of 30. In that sense, a general client would be eligible for a 12 to 24 week maximum wage subsidy. And the way that we figure out what that placement term is going to be is we look at the client's skills and abilities and what their past experience reflects with the job that you are looking to fill. So let's say that you've never had, that your employees never had experience. Maybe you're a construction industry, you're looking for a laborer and they've never actually done anything in that field before. So of course, we're going to look at the longest term for that 24 weeks to give your candidate the most chance at success in learning the skills and abilities that you would like them to possess. If you've had somebody that has done this work before and they've been a laborer, they've done this drywall and they really have a handle on what's needed, then we're looking more towards the 12-week wage subsidy. Our second type of client that we have is a youth client. And this is anybody from the age of 16 to 30. The percentages are really the same, or sorry, not the percentages, but the term, the 12 to 24 week term, that's really just dependent on their skills and abilities as well. With our youth clients, though, it does have a little bit of a higher percentage rate. So with those general clients, we're looking at about 50% for the top tier. And for youth clients, we're looking at 75% reimbursement for that top tier. All placements do go down in time. So as your client is learning and getting those skills and abilities, we slowly start to break down the reimbursement percentages. So over time, so a youth client would be 75%. They would then go down to 50% and then move to 25% reimbursement throughout that placement period. And for those general clients, it starts at 50%, moves to 25%, and then goes down to 15%. Our third client type that we have is for a custom wage subsidy. This is for if we have a client that you're looking to hire with diverse abilities, we would do a custom placement and a custom term. So this can go far beyond that 24 weeks, up to a maximum of 78 weeks. But of course, these clients wouldn't be working full-time hours. These would be custom hours, custom job placements. And with those percentages, it starts at 85%, moves down to 55%, and then to 25%. I know it's a lot of information, but please feel free to reach out and we can absolutely provide that to you. We do have a wage subsidy information guide as well that we can just send out to employers, so you can have that all in writing and have that handy.
What types of employers are eligible for the wage subsidy program?
So all private sector. So if you are a government funded organization considered public sector, you wouldn't be eligible for the program to receive government funding benefits, as your employees' wages are already funded by the government. So public sector like municipalities, healthcare, anything like that would not be eligible. But if you have a private sector business, then you are eligible for the program.
And how would an employer apply for the wage subsidy program, and what will they need to have?
Yeah, so it's quite easy. We have a portal online. There is a link that we can send to you if you're unable to find that. And all you need to do is go on to the website. You provide your business information. So what you need to have, you need to make sure that you have a CRA business number. You need to have a WorkSafe account that is active and in good standing. And what that means is when you provide your application and you have that WorkSafe number inside of that application, we go on to the WorkSafe website and we run a WorkSafe clearance letter. What that says to us is that your company is active, it's in good standing, and you're eligible to receive these benefits. Really important that we want to know that we're sending our clients to safe workplaces. So we make sure we run that. And once we get the letter that says you're in good standing, you're ready to go. You also need to provide your candidate's resume, because we do want to look back at that skills and experience, right? That's how we're going to base that length of the duration. So we want to have that client's resume. And you also need to be able to provide us with a training plan. These do not need to be submitted with the application, but as soon as you submit that application, you'll be receiving a response from us asking for these. So just make sure you have the ability to write a training plan and let us know what that candidate is going to be working on during the duration of the wage subsidy placement.
So there are two different types of wage subsidies. So what is the difference between an employer identified wage subsidy and a WorkBC match wage subsidy?
Yes, so this can be a little bit confusing for people. I know we have this question come up a lot. So an employer identified wage subsidy means that any employer can apply for a wage subsidy with somebody that they have identified as a candidate they would like to hire. Now, the WorkBC match, same application process. You still need to go online and apply through that portal. But if you know that the person you are wanting to hire is already a client of WorkBC, you want to choose this option. With the WorkBC match, we are able to provide financial supports for our clients in the form of essential work clothing, maybe essential tools. So if you know your client or your candidate is a client of WorkBC, we want to apply through this method so that we can ensure we're providing them with the financial supports necessary. The employer identified wage subsidy does not have the additional supports for the client. But you can hire anybody you want on that. Doesn't need to be a WorkBC client. And if you're ever unsure, if you have a candidate that you would like to hire and you're unsure of which stream to apply for, go ahead and speak with the candidate and just ask them if they have any connections to WorkBC, if they've ever worked with an employment advisor, and then that will give you a good idea of which avenue to apply for. If the client is maybe unsure as well, maybe they've had some kind of, communications with WorkBC in the past, but they don't know if they're still within the system and receiving services, you can get them to reach out to us and we can do a search to find out that information for the both of you.
What types of job seekers are eligible for the employer identified wage subsidy?
So for an employer identified wage subsidy, now again, this is that client that you are, the candidate that you're looking to hire that is not a client of WorkBC. So these people cannot be working in any way, shape, or form. They cannot be working a part-time job, a casual job, or be enrolled in full-time school. These people are considered out of the labor market. So if you are looking to hire a candidate and you want to apply for this, please do ask the client first if they are working in any capacity. If you are looking for a WorkBC match client, Depending on that client's situation, if they're in a job where they could be, would be more sustainable for them, it would be a better move for them. We are able to provide a rationale to the ministry as to why this client would be better suited for a wage subsidy position with your company. So always good to just ask that client, if they have that connection to us, because we'll be able to decipher that for you as well.
What types of job seekers are eligible for the WorkBC match wage subsidy?
Yeah, so this is an interesting thing with the WorkBC match as well. You can also reach out to us and say you do an application and you want us to help you find a candidate. You can apply through the WorkBC match and you can actually say, hey, I need an employee. And then we can also help you find somebody. So they will be clients of WorkBC with that WorkBC match, and they would all be eligible for our services. And we can also help you find somebody. If you're looking for a candidate and you just aren't finding anybody on your own, you're more than welcome to come to us. We'll talk to our employment advisors, post that throughout our organization, and also give you the opportunity to post on our website to find someone.
When can a wage subsidy hire start working?
Yeah, so here is another thing we come across quite often. Really important that the candidate cannot start working until we have created the wage subsidy contract, we have an agreed upon date, and the client cannot start working before that date. We need to have all the contracts signed by all three parties. So one, of course, being us, by the employer, and also by the candidate. We really want to make sure that we are providing accurate information to the ministry. We are working with, government documents and government funds. So it's really important that your client's pay stubs match the dates that we have on that wage subsidy contract. We never want any issues to go back and for us to have to, create any contracts and then have them be null and void because somebody started working before that contract date. So just make sure the contract date works good for you. It works good for the candidate. We're very flexible here. So whichever dates you choose, those are the dates that we're going to go with. So long story short, the wage subsidy hire cannot start working until the date agreed upon in the signed contract.
How does payroll work for an employer that has a wage subsidy employee?
Yeah, so it's really easy. I know that this is something that we get a lot of conversations with employers. Payroll stays the same. Nothing changes for you as an organization. All that you need to do is submit to us monthly claim forms and timesheets, as well as pay stubs. So when you provide us with that pay stub, it's going to be 2 pay periods. So it'll be two pay stubs, 2 paychecks in a 1 month period. And in that 1 month period, we will also have a form, a timesheet that you can fill out. We just want to make sure that the hours on the pay stubs match the hours on that timesheet. And we also have a claim form. We have very specific examples, and we have a really great finance department here who will absolutely help out with any questions you have when you are submitting those. So it's just a monthly submission. You let us know how much the client has worked, and we will reimburse you for those wages, and nothing changes for your payroll.
What are the communication requirements of employers and employees during the wage subsidy placement term, and why is this communication so important?
Yeah, so we really need to be keeping in contact with your employee as well as the employer. It's really important because this is our due diligence for us being contractors of the ministry and of government funds. We need to be making sure that we're having that clear communication so that we can report to why these funds are being allocated to your company. Really important, because if we do not have clear communication throughout your placement, if something were to happen and let's say that, your employee needed to take some time off work or, whatever it might be, we're not going to be able to make changes to your contract, any changes or extensions, if we don't know what's happening. It's really difficult for us to go back and go, chase things over time to find out, hey, what's been going on? Where did this go wrong? And where did any time missing go? It's really important. If you let us know what's going on all of the time, we are able to take accountability and report to the ministry on exactly what needs to be done so that we can support both the employers and the employees in the best way possible.
what happens after an application is submitted?
Yeah, so you go onto the online portal, you're going to fill out your information as we talked about with that CRA business number, information about your company. When you send that, we get an automatic email that comes to our inbox. And when we get that, we will reach out to you, let you know we've received that application, and let you know that it's time now to provide the next steps with the training app. Sorry, not the training app, the Susie? Training plan. Well, it's time to get the training plan and the candidate's resume in. Once you've done that, well, of course, we'll reach out to the client as well, let them know that they have been chosen for a wage subsidy. If it's a employer identified wage subsidy, the only information we have about your candidate is their email address. So we will reach out to them, send them that email. We do hope that they're willing and ready to communicate through email, because that is the only information we have. Until you're able to provide us with the candidate's resume that might have a phone number on there. So we really do hope that you're keeping in touch with them. We send them directions exactly on how to register, what needs to be done. We let them know that if they want to come into our office, our community resource specialists will help them walk through the application process to make sure nothing's missed. It takes about 48 hours for us to create all of the documents once both applications have been received. And once we have that training plan and resume, this is going to help us create that contract. So depending on how quickly your candidate gets their application in for an employer identified wage subsidy really changes the basis on how fast we can get that done. If you have a WorkBC match client, we're already in contact with them, right? They've got an employment advisor. We have all their contact information. So it's a little bit, we find a little easier to keep connected with those clients and help things move a bit faster. Yeah, so we get all that paperwork together. If a client needs financial support, if they are a WorkBC match, it could take a couple extra days as well. We want to make sure that they have the time to go out and get the tools and the clothes or whatever they might need for work.
Okay, that is kind of all our most commonly asked questions. If anybody has questions, feel free to ask them now, or you can also feel free to book a consultation meeting with us, and would like further clarification or anything, we're happy to discuss that with you one-on-one as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, Susie. You're right. And anytime anybody can call, let us know. We also have the wage subsidy information guide, which I had previously mentioned. That's really handy. It just outlines all of the policies and procedures that need to be followed when we are working with wage subsidy. So please reach out if you have any questions, and we'll provide you with further information. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.